Good morning, everyone. So, today we are beginning with the new topic for our research, that is research design. So, we have already learned something about research design, yes. So, what is research design? It's a blueprint, it's a framework, what things we are going to do in our research. So, it is including what? Our collection of data, analysis, measurement, everything will be included in our research design. So let us understand the meaning and definition of our research design. So according to David N. Jeremias, research design actually constitutes the blueprint for the collection, measures and analysis of the data. So what we understood here that research design means what? It is including of what? Yes, of data. Which data? Whatever we have collected, whatever we are going to measure and whatever we are going to analyze. So all these things we are going to consider in our research design. Let us move to the next part. We'll just understand the basic meaning. That is, in research design, we are just going to do some planning for the research purpose. We are just going to prepare one structure. We are going to organize the data. We are going to follow the strategy. And on that basis, we are going to do the investigation. And investigation we are going to do for the purpose of research questions, because we want to get the answers for our research. So indirectly what we understood here that in research we are going to do whatever things we are going to do, those things we are going to include in our framework, that is what our research design. Let us move ahead. We are just looking for the next part, that is our essential of good research design. Now see, there are few things which we have to consider. Now see, first of all we should focus on what? We should focus on objectives. Now whenever we are going to talk about our research design, that research design should focus on what? Our objective, whatever we want to achieve, that should be included in our research design, and that should be clearly defined, so that those people who are going to work on that research, they will understand exactly what we want to achieve, and accordingly they are going to take the steps to achieve the goal. Okay, so what they are saying here, that whenever we are going to talk about objective differs according to the research types. Okay, so depending upon the type, we are focusing on our goal, and accordingly our objective changes. So our design should be included with what? Our objective. Next thing, we can just take example, that suppose we are talking about our sales, that sale is increasing from 10%, 20% in next few years, that also we can consider, that is what our goal, what we are going to achieve in future. So that we have to write in our research design. Moving to the next, what we have is flexibility. Flexibility means what? Research design should not be rigid. That means what? It should be flexible. According to the situation, we have to change our design. Otherwise, what will happen? That will get, what you can say, distracted. Okay, so what they are saying here, that whenever we are going to prepare a research design, that should be flexible. According to situation, we can change the things in our research design. Why? Because sometimes it is not possible to collect data for particular thing. Now if you are going to do survey for like income of the people, they are not going to give you the correct data, then that will be like, we should be flexible for that in that case. Okay, so that's what they are saying here, कि whenever we are going to decide our research design, we should be flexible. Next thing we'll see, acceptance. Now see, research design must be acceptable by the all people, like those people who are concerned with the research, everybody should accept that. Now see, normally we have seen that we have commercial research, we have academic research and we have social research. Commercial research में हम लोग क्या देखते हैं, that we'll see, just see कि all the higher authorities are there, they are going to accept the things. Okay, in academic institutions are there, universities are there, they are going to accept the thing, a research guide. They are the people who are going to accept the things. Okay, in case of social research, all the organization, financiers, sponsors, they are going to check out all the activities done by the researcher. Okay, so this acceptance should be made by whom? The person who are concerned with that particular research. Next thing what we have is suitability. Now see, whenever we are going to talk about a design, it should be suitable to our objective. As we know that कि research कैसे होना चाहिए? Suitable to our objective. That means what? कि whatever we want to achieve, whatever we are decided as our objective, for that purpose research design should be suitable. Okay, so we can just take example कि whatever we are having, like data collection method we are using, techniques we are using, manpower, research staff, whatever we are using, so everything should be suitable for our research design, and accordingly we are going to take the action. Next thing is what? Simplicity. Now whenever we are going to write a research design, it should be in a simple manner, so that the people who are going to implement the research, right, a research staff will be there, they are going to do activities on behalf of the researcher, so they should understand the things what they are going to do. Okay, so what they are saying here, that whatever language we are going to use in research design, that must be clear and simple. They should understand whatever researcher want to say. So these things we have to take care of. The simple things that will be understood by the research staff, easy manner, and they can collect the data and they can analyze it in a proper manner. So moving to the next, what we have is cost effective. So see, whenever we are going to do the research, we should know that how much funds are needed for that particular research. So similarly, whenever we are going to design the things, we are going to understand what, how much fund we have, how much money we are going to spend. Okay, so all this calculation should be done in case of research design only. Before that, we should understand how much money is needed, and accordingly we are going to do our research. So we have to take sound decision on money incurred and spent. Next we'll see pilot study. Now pilot study is a new word. That means what? Here whenever we are going to do a research, before research we are going to do research on small segment. Why so? Because we want to make sure that whether that research will be work or not, right? Then afterwards it should be beneficial for everybody. Okay, and for that purpose we are going to do that research on small segment from that population only. Suppose I am going to do research on college student of particular college, so that will be my whole population, and from that I am going to select particular students, right? So similarly in case of every research, what we are going to do, we are going to consider the area where we are going to do the research, and from that we are going to consider only few segments, small segment, so that we'll understand whether that will be okay to do this research or no. That will understand from the pilot study. So here what we are going to do, we are just going to do changes in the sources of data, data collection, techniques. After that we can do changes after this study. Okay, next thing is what? Training to the research staff. Now see, as we know that whenever we are going to do research, a person who is a researcher, he is not going to do alone, he will be in need of staff. So staff will be there. Now that staff should be skilled, they should have proper knowledge of research, they should have proper attitude, they should know how to behave in the society. So all these things will be considered while giving them training. So what they are saying here, that whenever we are going to talk about a research design, it will be the important part of that training should be given to the research staff, so that whenever they are going to conduct any surveys, interviews, observation, they can give proper decisions, proper opinion, proper feedback to the researcher. For that purpose, this training to the researcher is needed. So that's what about our essentials. We'll just move to the next part, that is our significance of research design. Now why it is important? because it will guide the researcher. Yes, we know that, because whenever we are going to do the research, before that what we have to prepare? We have to prepare the research design. That is what our framework that will guide us that how we are going to do the research. Yes, so we'll just move ahead. First thing is what we have to remember, that is guidelines to the researcher. So this research design will guide the researcher about what? When to start the research, then when to complete the research, right? We are getting the answer for what? When. Next thing is what. Now what data should be collected for the research purpose, that we should take care of. Then from where we are going to collect the data and how we are going to collect the data, right? So these things will guide the researcher about collection of data. Okay, next thing is what? Organizing the resources. Now we know that we have studied this so many times, right? In organization, what we have financial resources like money and all, capital. Physical resources like whatever we are going to use, like equipments are there. So all these things we are going to use, that are our physical resources. And human resources का मतलब क्या होता है? Manpower. So in any organization, what we need? We are in need of these resources. So what they are saying here, in research design, we are going to focus on what? These three resources. For what purpose? For collecting the data. And these resources should be organized in a proper manner. Moving to the next, what we have is direction to the research staff. Now what they are saying, see, normally earlier topic we have seen this, right, that we have to train our research staff. Why? Because they are the people who are going to work on behalf of the researcher. So what they are saying here, the person who is a researcher, he should give proper instruction, that is what direction, to the research staff. Now how they are going to give, for what they are going to give, that we'll see now. So they have to give instruction for the purpose of what? For the purpose of collecting data. From which resources they are going to collect the data, like primary source, secondary source, that we have to tell them. Then techniques which they are going to use, that we have to tell them. Then time frame, that is within a particular time period they have to collect the data. Obviously, suppose if you want to give report in 1 month, then duration will be 15 days for that particular research purpose for collecting data, because within 1 month you have to submit the research. Okay, so what they are saying here, it was just example, normally research are for more than 1 year only. Okay, so what they are saying here, we should give proper direction to the research staff. Next thing is what? Selection of techniques. Now see, whenever we are going to do the research, obviously we have to use some techniques. We are going to do like on the basis of primary or secondary data. Suppose we are going to do on the primary data, obviously we have some options like survey we can do some observations, we can take interviews, we can do some experimentation. So all these things will help them to understand the feedback from the respondent, right? Those people who are our target audience, they are going to give reviews, they are going to give feedback to us. Okay, so that will be the significance for us. Now see, we have some methods. After collecting the data, what we can do, we can just apply some method to get the measurement, right? We can do here quantitative, what you can say, measurement on the basis of what? Some methods, like we have methods like measures of central tendency, like we have, in that we have mean, mode, median. Then we have time series. In that what we have moving averages, weighted averages, correlation, regression. So many techniques we have, like F test, T test. Okay, so these are the tests which what we can use while analyzing the data. Okay, so these things we have to take care of. Now after that, what we have is collection of relevant data. Now obviously whenever we are going to talk about our research, whatever data we are going to collect, that should be relevant, obviously, because if we are going to work on particular research, suppose we can example we are talking about sales and we are collecting data for profit, it will be useless, right? So what they are saying here कि जिसका research है, whatever research we are going to do, accordingly we have to collect the data. Okay, suppose we are going to talk about like University of Mumbai, so we have to collect data from University of Mumbai itself. We should not go for Pune University then. Okay, that will be irrelevant. So what they are saying here, whenever we are going to collect the data, we should focus on what? Relevant data. That should be the area covered, the universe of research, that is population of research we have calculated, the sample size what we are going to use. So all these things we have to take care of when we are going to collect the data. So that data should be relevant. Next thing is what? Objective of research. Now objective क्या है? That we have to collect the right data at the right time from the right sources, from the right techniques. That's what we have to remember. Next thing is what? Monitoring of expenditure. Now see, normally whenever we are going to do any activity, we have to spend money. Yes. So in research also we have to spend some funds. Yes. So all those funds should be utilized in a proper manner. So that fund should not be wasted. Now from where we get the funds? All the authorities. Okay. So authorities, they are going to approve the fund for the research purpose. Okay, suppose in company you are going to do, the company authority, higher authority, they are going to give permission for that particular expenditure. Okay, so that's what they are saying here, we have to monitor our expenditure. Next thing is what? Execution of research work. Now see, execution means what? Implementation. Whatever work we are going to do for the research, that should be executed in a proper timing, right? We should execute that in a proper time. Why? Because suppose if I want to submit my research within 1 year, I have to complete that before that. Yes, so that I can submit it on time. So what they are saying here, we have to focus on what? We should indicate what is the starting point, what is the ending point, right? What things we have done. So all this time we should take care of. Okay. So we'll just move to the last point of this session, that is steps in research design. Now see, we have studied research problem steps, right? We have studied research process steps. Now these are the similar kind of steps. So we'll just see this. Now see, first what they are saying here, define the problem. Now see, in any cases, we know that whenever we are going to start our research, we should know what is our problem. That is what? Defining the problem. हमें क्या करना है? We should give proper title to our research. That is what they are saying here. According to our objective, we have to define the problem. Second thing is what? Sources of data. Now we know that we have already studied this, that we have two kind of sources, primary and secondary, from where we have to collect our data. Right? Now we know that also one thing, that primary data is like difficult to collect, we have to spend more time on that. The secondary will be easy to get it. Okay, and that will be less time consuming. Next thing is what? Techniques of data collection. Now see, as we have seen, like whenever we are going to collect the data, we should decide which techniques we are going to use, right? We are going to use like interview method, observation method, survey method, and within that time period we have to collect that. Okay, so that we have to consider. Next thing is what? Decision on universe. Universe means what? Population. Which population we are going to consider for the purpose of what? Research. That we have to take care of, and that is called as what? Universe. Okay, and from that universe we are going to select what? Our next thing, that is sample size. Okay, so sample size will be selected from what? Our universe. That will be small, that will be big, that depends on the research type. We are going to select our respondent. Okay, these things we have to remember. Now next thing is what? Area of data collection. Now from where we are going to collect the data. For example, we can say like we are going to collect from local market, national market, district level, state level. Which area we are going to consider, that we have to take care of. Now for that purpose also we have to remember the time factor, within which time period we have to collect that things, from where, matlab which are the respondent, who are the people, they are going to give us responses, that also we have to cover there. Next thing is what? Method of data analysis. We have seen this earlier also. That is measure of central tendency, that is mean, mode and median. Then time series, correlation, regression, F-test. These are the methods of data analysis. Next thing is what? Decision on resources. Same thing is repeated. Just now we have seen resources we have of three kinds. That is financial, physical and manpower. Same thing is repeated, same thing you can just copy paste. Okay. Next thing is what time frame of research. Now see, whenever we are going to do our research, obviously we should give a uh, research report before that particular period, before that particular time limit. Why? Because otherwise that will be outdated, right? So what they are saying here, whenever we are going to talk about a time frame, that should be within a particular period of time. Why so? Because after that that will be useless. That happens sometime. Okay, so what they are saying here, we have to focus on what time frame, which is the limit for our research submission. Next thing is what preparation of research design. Now this we have already seen how we are going to prepare the research design. We have to follow some steps. Same thing are there. That is, we have to prepare the research problem. We have to select the research objective. We have to collect the data. Time frame we have to take care of. Then population we have to decide. Then we have to take the sample size from that. Then data collection. Then techniques we are going to use. So all these things, whatever we have written now, all those things will be included in our preparation of research design. Okay, and last step is what? Approval of research design. Now see, approval who is going to give? We have seen now only, right? That in case of, like we can say example, commercial research, top management will give. In case of academic research, research guide will give. In case of social research, who will give? The what you can say, financer, sponsors, all the top agencies, they are going to give us approval for the research design, right? So I have tried to complete this within 20 minutes. I just hope you have understood everything. If you have any doubt, you can just give me comment. I'll just repeat that point again. And if you want any new videos from me, just write in comment. I'll do it for you. Okay, thank you so much for joining. Thank you.